Irma has left a trail of destruction across the Caribbean. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Dean. St. Martin suffered a devastating blow from the Category 5 storm, taking a direct hit. Damage there is widespread and significant. At least 4 people are confirmed dead on the island. Officials say it will take years to get St. Martin back to normal. More than 1 million homes and businesses are without power in Puerto Rico tonight. In some areas, residents are also struggling without water. Some buildings were damaged, but it was not as bad as feared.
In the Dominican Republic, you can see the torrential rains brought by Irma as well as the wind. The hurricane passed to the north of Hispaniola, sparing the Dominican Republic the worst. Now, there are reports of flooding and damage to buildings, but so far, no reports of any deaths.
We have live team coverage of Irma. Our Greg Argos is in Miami, where preparations ahead of the storm are underway. But we begin with meteorologist Kate Bilo, who's got the very latest on Irma's track. Kate?
That's right, Jessica. Just a few moments ago, we received the latest updated track from the National Hurricane Center, and it's really continuing to keep Irma a Category 5 storm at this hour, the longest consecutive Category 5 duration on record. You can see the eye wall moving through the Turks and Caicos Islands tonight, continuing to batter those small islands. Also, we're starting to feel the impacts on the coast of Cuba, and this is going to almost thread the needle through the warm water here of the southern Bahamas, north of Cuba, and then head for South Florida and the southeastern United States over the weekend. So here are the latest stats on Irma. Still, of course, a Category 5 major hurricane. It has weakened a little. There's a little indication that the storm is undergoing what we call an eye wall replacement cycle, which means some of the energy is being dispersed out to the storm. It's a larger wind field, but the wind speeds tending to drop just a little bit. So our last update was 175 miles an hour. Now the wind speeds at 165 miles an hour, but still a very, very strong storm. 920 millibars of central pressure, moving west-northwest at about 16 miles per hour. So the latest track, again, threading the needle here, staying in those warm waters, the Bahamas and Cuba. The current track has it making landfall over South Florida. It's shifted a tiny little bit to the west. Now, there's still a cone of concern. Notice how the cone gets larger depending on the days. There's still a chance it could impact more the east coast of Florida, the entire state of Florida in that cone of concern. Also, Georgia and South Carolina, that can't be ruled out either, as the storm could move offshore and make a second landfall. But this whole area can expect hurricane force winds, devastating flooding, and if this is the track the storm takes, cities like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach would be in the threat zone for some of the worst storm surge. The right front quadrant of that landfalling hurricane pushing all that water onto shore that could lead to widespread and devastating flooding. This track still could shift a bit, but as of now, the entire state of Florida and much of the southeastern United States needs to be prepared for some catastrophic impact.